For today's awareness malpractices electoral role, here we have invited, and he's here, our keynote speaker. I would like all of you all who know him, it's not that he needs a formal introduction. Well, he is Mr. Elvis Gomes, retired IS officer, and specially he's been called here and he'll be speaking in detail on this issue. आणि आमकां एज्युकेट करतलो तो आनी नॉलेज आमकांय जायती मेवतली बिकॉज ही वॉज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ इलेक्शन कमिशन आमच्या गोंयांत आनी प्रोबेबली एवरी वन नोज इज अ फेस and we welcome you, sir, and I would request our Sir Anthony De Silva, who has taken the initiative of having this, organize this program, to please welcome Sir Elvis, our speaker, with the bouquet of flowers. Yeah. Well, the civil society, intellectuals, NGOs, activists, social workers, and Goimogi are here. Without taking much time, I would request Sir Elvis to kindly start, and I hand over the mic to him. Thank you, sir.
वो इवेंट जावपाक जस्ट इट हॅपन कित्याक लागून आज आमी हांगा मेळपाक म्हाकाय खबर ना लास्ट मंथ मी यो सद्या मे म्हयन्यान एक अशी ऑर्डर भायर सरली इन बेंजीम कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी देर वॉज एन ऑर्डर issued by the deputy collector. Now deputy collector, you have to bear in mind, is the ERO, Electoral Registration Officer. म्हणजे कितें सुटल्यार घेवन सांग. Electoral Registration Officer is a taluka level officer. ताजे अंडर Assistant Electoral Registration Officer म्हणून आसता AERO. Clear? ERO, AERO. आता कितें जाता आमचे चडशे आमी ERO म्हणून वचना बिकॉज वी नो देम एज डेप्युटी कलेक्टर, वी नो दीस पीपल एज मामलतदार्स. They have a dual role. They are mamlatdars or deputy collectors under a particular legislation. Amila? No correct. So there is something called land revenue code. All your land matters. वो आमचा नायक बाबू झगडटा सांबाळ गुन्हेगार. LRC is one statute which gives certain powers to mamlatdars, deputy collectors, additional collectors. But at the same time, when it comes to election, the same person, same fellow who does fishing sometimes also operates as a water sports operator. Okay? So when he does his fishing, which is with his boats, he becomes a fisherman under the fisheries legislation. But at the same time, as a water sports operator, he has a separate statute and separate norms which have set guidelines for the safety of the operation. How much weight he can carry, how many packs he can carry, what are the lifeguards, life-saving equipment he has to carry. That will not be covered by the fisheries, but it's the same person. Okay? Now here lies a certain problem. The deputy collector for most of the time, or the mamlatdar for most of the time, is responsible to the government and particularly the revenue minister. Let's take a test case. I am not accusing anybody. I am not accusing any political party. I am just telling you where are the gaps in the system which can have catastrophic consequences on the electoral outcome. That is the attempt that is being made. So, I पहिले सांगला तुमकां एक ऑर्डर भायर सरली आनी ती ऑर्डर म्हाका कोणें तरी दाखयली आनी इट वॉज सर्क्युलेटिंग ऑन द ग्रुप्स ऑल्सो की 28 BLOs have been substituted. They didn't say transferred, kind of replaced. Rather, the word used was replaced. It was a little very fishy kind of order. Yeah. Those who have been put in 30 parts, there should have been 30. There are 30 booth level officers, and 28 have been replaced. 2 have been kept. So I was a little inquisitive to know what happens in the 39 other constituencies. So there was no information. मागीर कोणें तरी सांगलें म्हाका एकाच कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन काडल्या म्हणून ऑर्डर. Now who are the BLOs? BLOs also work somewhere in some department. They are junior, very junior officials working in a subordinate service. Tenka under the electoral process, they have been appointed as booth level officers. So I am telling you only about 3 persons right now. One is ERO, AERO, and the booth level officer. So far, clear? If doubt so that I don't move ahead. And this is something most of you know. I am not inventing something new here. It just happened that we decided to gather here because of a press conference that I had taken, and I spelled out this particular order. I went into challenge before the election commission. I'll come to that. And suddenly on Tuesday, was it? Or last Tuesday, this Tuesday, Anthony landed at my house in Khopoli. And incidentally, I happened to be there. He came with a small smartphone, and he asked me whether I will sit with him for an interview. Then he said, whatever you are saying needs to go before a larger audience so that awareness is created. Now, awareness is created about what? Electoral malpractice. Electoral malpractice EVM. Now, EVM is a subject I will not even touch, because electronics is something which is neither in my hand nor in your hand. We can only agitate go before the court. The circuitry where that vote that is pushed will go through the circuitry, nobody knows. So from this BLO order, I am just telling you how we landed here. From this BLO order, when we went one step ahead, I filed a complaint. No, first I brought it before the media. Media report that it is questionable why these 28 BLOs have been replaced. If that order doesn't say the existing BLOs what they should do, whether they should go back to base from where they came, what should they do? Then there was a question mark, 28 BLOs by Gatla. Who has recommended these BLOs? 30 are 28 काढल्या धरया त्यांना दुसरे घातल्या. So कोणे दिली नावा, कोणाची नावा? So then when I realized that nothing is happening, so that is the first time I wrote to the Election Commission of India. I gave the copies of the orders and I sent it to them. Thought this kind of reaction. In the meanwhile, something else came in the media. Now, so the suspicion grew. What came in the media? I saw on some newspapers that one of the BLO who has been now put in the new order is feeding cake to the MLA of Panjim on his birthday. Anybody can feed cake, that is not a big issue. So still, there is another BLO in that order who was the election agent of the MLA in the last election. I still didn't give much importance to that, but what I did, I sent both the cuttings again to the Election Commission of India as a follow-up of the first letter, which had gone. Still, reaction response. Then, with 2 colleagues of mine, I went to the CEO office. Now see, again you have to understand, Chief Electoral Officer is the head of the machinery that conducts the elections. Chief Electoral Officer, at the apex level, is supported by 2 DEOs, District Electoral Officers. They are the collectors, respective district collectors. We have 2 districts, so we have 2 district collectors. Collector, deputy collector, but they play the role as a DEO. Now he is responsible to the Election Commission. He has nothing to do with the government. Ex-MLA. Was a collector, because the common man doesn't know that he is the DEO. His responsibility lies there with the ECI. Nobody can touch him. Nobody can transfer him. State government has no say over his transfer from the position as DO. They have to write to the Election Commission. He is also secretary to the government. This DO, not DO, the CEO is also secretary in the government holding other portfolios. The rest of the time, I don't know. So, the election activate and charge. Again, he reports to different ministers. You understand why I am telling you all this? Because he is a human being. He has a boss. Rest of the time he has a boss there. He is the minister, he is the chief minister. Certain portion of his time he dedicates for election duty. That time, हे boss तेका लागना. कित्याक सदांच जे boss मेळटा तेका विचारूंक शकता आनी मातशें कर मरे, तें कर मरे, हें कर मरे. So he is vulnerable there. I am not saying this CEO is vulnerable. I have no comments about that. So आमी तेजे कडेन गेले. तेजे ऑफिसान आमकां दाखयली लेटर. I have those letters. I will just show you those letters. The correspondence was made. आणि म्हाका एक बरें जालें. They were very cooperative. They gave me copies of all the orders, all the letters. आता कितें जालें? When I raised this grievance, it also came from Delhi to them, the CEO office. So CEO office कितें जाता? They will write to the DO. DO कोण? Collector. एक letter येयली, no response. दूसरी letter गेली, reminder 1 म्हणून, reminder 1 to the collector and district election officer. दुसरी गेली. मागीर गेली आनीक एक letter, mass council of BLO. Okay. ही chronology आहा सारकी. मागीर गेली reminder 2 म्हणून. Citing the first 3 letters sent, 1, 2, 3. So दिसताले 3 letters जो हांगा उल्लेख केला, and this is reminder 2. So आनीक suspicion वाडलें. And then finally what happened? In the meanwhile, this came.
Elvis Gomes, can we have this on the screen?
I can put it on the screen, but let me complete. This is what the correspondence that has taken place between the chief election officer who sits there with his district election officer who sits here. That's all. Reminder. Kai na? Magir yahi match fixing Maharashtra. So it was quite interesting to read this. This was an article written by Mr. Rahul Gandhi in various newspapers. And he has brought out very startling facts in this. Then we thought something is definitely wrong because until that time, not much noise was made because this was the internal correspondence that was going on between two authorities. One is the CEO, one is the DO. So, and I was the complainant. So, zale kite magir आम्ही काय रिस्पॉन्स मेळना म्हणून मागीर फायनली 11 तारखेर of this month we decided we should call the media and bring out these facts in the open. Till that time I am only talking about suspicion. I have not accused anybody. I have not even said that something drastically has gone wrong, but there is a great suspicion now that something has gone wrong. Press conference आपयले उपरांत 11th of June. Believe me, there was a huge reaction across the country. I was myself surprised that it got generated so much of interest that people, just an innocuous tweet of mine was getting, retweeted with quotes by so many people, and within one day the views became 1.5 lakhs. आता आमचे सारखे जे इतके आम्ही 10 लोकांनी गोंयच्या लोकांनी ट्वीट लायक केल्यार बरो आहा. Mostly Goans are not on Twitter. X, now X. So it was election commission also woke up there. So election commission again sent a missive here. We want a report. That day, they sent a letter to this DO. Now you know who is DO. I don't have to say collector enough. I don't like to use the word collector for your better understanding. So DO was told that today, by 3 p.m., if you do not send a reply, we will be forced to make a case before the Election Commission of India. Okay.
Kindly please keep your phones on silent.
So let me print out. Anyway, then it was very clear that that word used was 3 p.m. I think that is the time the DO. Now what happens that I'll tell you about the DO later. That is the same day, 3 p.m. by Mandana reply that one. That is the day they came out with an order that the order of the appointment of the BLOs is kept in abeyance. So it was the first release.
Send a letter to the DO. By 3 p.m. we was
CEO.
here.
CEO sitting in Algino. Because there was pressure from Delhi on them. So that is the time replied, and they said that order is kept in abeyance. Okay. I thought to myself that this could have been an experiment. हांगा जर सक्सेस जालें आनी आपल्या मनशान BLO म्हणून घातले जाल्यार it could have been replicated in all the 39 constituencies. Now who is going to do that? Whether it is BJP who is going to do that or some other party that is going to do that, I am not going on that. Everybody is interested. Agnel also might have done in the past, I don't know. But that is not the issue here. The issue is that there is another strategy that can be adopted to change the course of the outcome of the elections. Now that is the point we have gathered here. So he briefed तुमकां हांवें summary कित्याक दिल्या समजोवपाक how we landed in the situation that we have gathered here today. And he came to me and he said, I will call 15 people, very close to so that he will explain to 15 people. I told him, what am I supposed to explain? I have nothing much more than what you know. I am sure some of you whom I know are sitting here will definitely know what I am talking about. Only you will not know the facts behind the scenes, what I have gone behind, which resulted in the cancellation of the order, because thereafter I was invited to the office of the collector just few days back, and I have gone there. Now some things like I have to say openly. Now some of them have been my colleagues, my juniors who have been there. Some of them work under pressure. Some of them have been, their very appointment has been directly influenced by the political persons. In recent times, we hear about job scams. In recent times, we hear about manipulation. In recent time, openly we have heard about PWD recruiting 40 engineers, taking 40 lakhs each. Openly, see. And nobody gives a damn about all this. Newspapers have openly accused charges 35 to 40 lakhs have been taken from candidates. People have made representations to vigilance and nothing happens. So the fear is what? If I have helped Pele to get in, Pele is obliged to me. Naturally. He might have paid me also, but still he is obliged to me. पैसे झाले देऊन त्याने माझे काम केले असं एक feeling असतं. So that person normally tries to help you electorally. So there was a fear that something like this could have happened, but now that is a past story. Yes, सोपले आता सध्या कित्याक सोपले म्हणटा collector, whatever it is said and done, this new collector who is come, he very categorically told me that, believe me Mr. Gomes, he said, I am stating here that in my tenure, I will not entertain any kind of influence on the electoral process. He told me about which elections he has done. I also told him what elections, the role I have played in the past. So it was a good meeting. And believing that, at least for me, I put an end to that, this pending DLO replacement. But it may not be the end, it may resurface some other time, I don't know. So, first thing that I want to...
The order is kept on the advance.
Yeah, that's what he told me, it's kept in, see, because there was a pressure that they have to meet the deadline of 3 p.m. He was only 7 days here in this chair, so to meet the deadline of 3 p.m, he had to do that. Keep in abeyance and then go into the merits of the case. But he told me that all the people who had joined also, out of the 28, 12 had already joined. They were told to go back. So I don't think that it may resurface again. But now then this brings us to a very important point. What can happen besides EVM? EVM forget. Now I will show you some names which are suspicious because they are active names in the electoral roll. So what we are trying to point out is this. The screen size is this much in reverse. I don't know how to increase it. This is
So number 339, name Arjun Nepali. Father's name Ram Singh Nepali.
Age
75.
no, how much is it? Age 26.
Yeah. House number is age 26. Okay. Dal
Balu.
Dal Bahadur. Yes.
Okay.
Father's name
These are indicative names. He guy manufactured till Innova life chalu. They are the voters of every constituency. Very name Nepali is suspicious. I can still understand Nepali. Because Dal was very now it is 40. 40 years. So definitely the Nepali citizen has entered the electoral rolls. Let's call it a suspicious failure. Now what is the procedure? Now what is the procedure in voting is how they get in, how any voter gets in. There is a website called eci.gov.in. Okay. Now one more thing now. One important thing is key officials are the BLO and the AERO in the whole process. Now how the electoral rule, how you get your name in is normally once you are 18, you are supposed to get in your name registered, and the BLO is given all the responsibility to hunt people who have turned 18, to hunt for people who have not registered in the locality, and to assist the people in the registration. So nobody need to break their head on what to do and what not to do. That is basically the role of the BLO. But still now almost 100% we have educated people here. You can do it yourself. You have to fill what is called Form 6. New registration for general electors. Form 6. If you are above 18 years or you will turn 18 in a few months, you have to fill this. There are guidelines. If people are abroad who are Indian passport holders, not the OCIs, they can fill Form 6A. Now this is the most important thing which we have gathered here for today. Form 7. Now this is just an indicative case I have given you about people from Nepal who have become electors in a particular constituency. Imagine, now this is on one page. On one page alone, there are about 4-5 names. If you go through some of the parts, particularly in Imagine Part 1, Part 28, you will find innumerable names which are suspicious. But then how the election receipt process, the registration happens? If you are from somewhere else and you have come here, because mostly the issue is not about the people who have been residing here for a long time. It is about the people who have just turned up and want to be electors or voters in the particular constituency. One more thing is, believe me, many of these Nepalis whom I interact with, they don't even know what is your election. They don't even have a clue. But it is the politician and his electoral machinery that goes after them and wants them to be registered. So how it happens, it is a very simple process, and if one barrier is crossed, it is through, unless an objection is given. So online, political parties have what are called BLAs. How you have good level officers from the government side, from the election side, they have what is called good level agents. Now BJP, you have to accept the fact and you have to admire them because they have this in place. In all the constituencies, they have these people in place. So they know what they are, because finally it is an electoral machine that works around the clock to win elections. Governance party, you forget what governance is. Others may not be knowing about BLAs, but you can have anybody. So you are पहले क्या ना हिला दो, कहाँ से आया? इधर से आया साहब, क्या है तुम्हारे पास? अरे आओ बताओ, दाखिले particulars कहाँ रहता है? तो उधर रहता है उसका, Elvis Gomes का घर में बाजू में एक दिया है, छोटा सा। अरे मगर तो उधर उसका मुझे ने NOC किया था, एक simple NOC. I have no objection to register पहले as a voter from Benoni constituency part number so and so. Once that is uploaded, then the system, see that this is all online now, that's why I am telling you. Nothing is manual anymore. The BLO, they have a separate app for them called Aeronet, which is not accessible to you. Yours is only voter helpline. They will receive it, the AERO, the Mamlatdar, will assign it. If the BLO says, yes, I know this person, I have verified, it is rare case where the AERO will have a cross verification. It is a rare case. So the name is invariably through. How the voters are permanent citizen who is so target. That is why first it is important to see that your name is still there. Because at election time, आमचे लोग times have changed. कोई का हल जाना है. आमचे happy go lucky लोग कोई था election में था वो था voting करो कोई था. Line नहीं करा होता. I told you power government you see that your name is not there. Anybody has experienced this or you know of some people who have come back from the polling booth?
Yeah.
So किधर बोलता है? You are helpless. You can do nothing about it. If you want to waste time, then there is another form. किधर कर देगा? उसको तो reward मिलता है चैलेंज. हाँ? चैलेंज हो रही है. That is not even counting. That is no meaning. If you want personal satisfaction, I am मांगते हैं माता जी reward मांगना है absolutely meaningless.
Mota
Mota is not.
Your conscious choice to vote for that. You are voting actually. तो झाले तुझे नाव असणार. आता हे इथले voter जर तू control करतो because this article which I just showed you has brought this out very strongly and there is a huge possibility based on this because answers are not coming from the election commission. How the voter list gets inflated to this extent. Now, Goa electoral size is about 30,000 average per constituency 30,000. In this, you can't add another 30,000. Can you? It's like no fool will do that. So what can be done? Maximum is the attempts that are made and have succeeded in the past are 800 to 1,000 voters safely. They have some of them have succeeded in introducing. It just passes off. Nobody who you tell me in normal day-to-day life, who is going to check your electoral rules? I mean, I'm a normal citizen. I'll see when election comes, I'll go and vote. Who I want to vote. So that is where responsibility lies on people who actually are caring for the electoral process to be having some integrity left. It is like a match, football match, where the referee also is now considered to be part of one team. And you have to fight that system that you have to beat the referee also and that team also and win. There is no level playing field. Am I clear so far? So this article raised a very critical issue about inflate the voter register with false voters. So I have gathered that in Maharashtra and Haryana what happened was, and this particularly happens in the last 6 months, there is a shift of voters, which is very, very important to know. Now, Santa is theory, this is all theory. Practically, unless some people take it upon themselves in their particular areas, I don't know to what extent some political parties will do it. But if citizens are little alert, you can minimize this. All that can be done is minimize. I know. Solan kama. सगळे आता तो आपले फाल्या टॅक्सीचे घेतो तो आपले वॉटर स्पोर्ट्स करतो आणि कोण कितें करता तो आपलो व्हिडिओ काढून मेंदू स्टार्ट करतो करेक्ट मरे हिंदू काढलो ओल्ड गायड करतो तिंगा पाण्याचा तेंगा व्हडले बियाणे सो डे टू डे लायफ नोबडी हॅज दिस टायम करेक्ट मरे संजय तुका गोमाचे एज्युकेशनाचे पडला तुका हेमी पडला बट युअर एज्युकेशन यू मे नॉट डू इट इफ दिस इज कंट्रोल्ड get better people there who will help you. So now the challenge is how to do it. Now Form 7, when you feel, you can raise an objection. Now here I also have a little bit of a problem in the election commission because the guidelines say that the objector has to be from the same constituency.
Same ward. Be from the same ward.
Ward wise also.
Same ward.
Same ward. We are having trouble.
Okay. Now I am showing you a case where people do come forward. I am not saying that everybody sits here. I have a case here before me, which I just took a printout and brought. There were 7 names. Okay. All the above Form 6 are rejected. Now this is the case. Fake entries to duplicate entries entered in VLOL. So the attempt now, John has made an attempt to feed in the data of new electors in in that somebody has taken objection or the BLO is conscious. अशें म्हणना की सगळे BLO are dancing to their instructions. There are good BLOs also who are responsible. ते म्हणटा ना फाल्यां आमकां कोण सेव करूंक येतो. अदले पयले आहे. So see now I'll just read out. Lakkarwa Rangappa, Vishwanath Raju, Sundar Harijan, Sumitra Ashok, Krishna Khatri Chandra, Bahadur Khatri, these are the names. All the above form 6 have been rejected. Now how they got rejected? Either somebody has raised an objection in form 7 or the BLO is conscious enough to verify that they actually are bogus. They are there, so people are there, these people will be there. But whether they are entitled to be voters here, that is one thing. Second, कितें जाता आमच्या लोकांना आमच्या सारके गोवन people, like I can tell you about Kogoli industrial area, तिला खुबशे मेहनत मागतात गोडे रावपाक facility. So people कांदोली कालामूट सगळे सेम ल्हान ल्हान स्ट्रक्चर्स बांदले फाटल्यान आमच्याच घराच्या फाटल्यान and they have accommodated people. These people just come, they are casual, some of them are floating, some of them don't even have tenant verification. I as a owner, I am not even aware what I am doing because some Agnel is demanding from my NOC the store of the so I give NOC to those 6 people. Rest of the process Agnel only does, he doesn't even know. Agnel's people do. I am giving example of the ex-MLA is able to relate what a politician normally does. He is not doing. But people are doing. So 6 जणांक NOC दिली, अपलोड झाले सिस्टमात एरोनेटा. BLO बरो आल्या रिजेक्ट जातले. ER मामलादार मातसो बरो आल्या क्रॉस व्हेरीफाय करतलो. आणि क्रॉस व्हेरीफाय करून जर चेकिंगाक गेलो आणि तिका हो त्या घरान मेवना, that becomes an offense. Now this is a very critical part. You don't understand this. हांव चिंततालो आता हे कित्याक एक्शन जायना. Now somebody has made an attempt. They have given false declaration while filing, while uploading. They have stated that whatever I state is true to the best of my knowledge and belief. It is like an affidavit. Now there is a provision. I am just giving you a little bit of insight how we can control this. Besides being objector, there is a provision in the legislation itself which says that it is an offence which is punishable. Guidelines over. So if you go to these guidelines, this is the declaration. All entries in declaration portion should be completed in all respects. Please note that giving any false statement made in the declaration portion is punishable offence under section 31 of the Representation of People Act 1950 with imprisonment with a term which may extend to 1 year or fine or with both. This is the section, Representation of People, making false declaration. This is the actual section from the statute, the act. If any person makes a connection with the
Making false declaration. Section 31 in the Representation of People's Act 1950 says making false declarations, like if any person makes in connection with the preparation,
preparation of the role. So when you are putting this online, you are preparing the role, you are putting a name. Then
the preparation,
revision is what? It's a correction or a revision. You change your parity E PRE correction master. So
the electoral roll or the inclusion or exclusion of any entry in or from an electoral roll. So the inclusion and exclusion
of any entry in and from an electoral roll. Because sometimes I change my part. As I decide to move to some other part in Karanjale. Then I am entitled to do that. So my part will change. But if I give a false declaration, that is punishable.
So a statement or declaration in writing which is false and which he either knows or
filing because this is done by only one person. He very well knew, he was conscious of the fact that he is putting false information in the system. So his declaration is false. So what is to be done? So this is one aspect which is ignored. It will FIR law example, direct.
Now people are in Goa voting, but people are living in Maharashtra and Karnataka.
Good. That's another same thing, same thing. So what I'm saying, both BLO, because normally deputy collector who was he will take immunity. आपने misguide किया था. I was not aware. Whatever was put up to me, my reasonable belief that it is true. I have approved it. But एक सुधा case is a query which fixes the BLO and the Mamladar. It can have a catalytic effect on all the other BLOs and all the other AEROs. If you agree with me, say yes.
Yes.
I don't know whether I'm conveying it right or what.
Anybody can do that. No. Only person driving is like.
No. See, filing of an FIR is the prerogative of anybody. See, listen to me. Filing a complaint before the police in a criminal matter, what happens? You are nobody after that. It becomes a matter of the state versus the accused. आता हांवें तुका धांवता आसतना पळयलो आनी तूं थिंगा सांकवाळे झगडटा आनी तुका कोणें मारलो. That is a cognizable offence. So it is my duty under the law to report it. My reporting is done, police will make it as an FIR. Then at the most I will be a witness there. So कोणाच्यानय करून जाता because this is a crime. Under Representation of People Act and Government person, it is a crime. So it is punishable, which gives you imprisonment.
Identification of fake voters can be done only by the people residing in that group. Or anybody can do that.
No, I don't know the guidelines actually.
Same
But
The same part में जो बोले. Same part.
yeah, that is one part. But I think I'm clear of this that you can definitely file a complaint. And I think some of us should do this. Once
Suppose
it's clear.
someone's name was there in the roll and deleted. Who's deleted it? It will be the officer with no reason. Suppose your name is there.
Yeah,
Then
I'll
it gets
come to that.
deleted.
I'll just come to
Yeah.
the deletion part. But this is very clear.
Yes.
Putting your name, filing an objection, and getting it deleted. That is clear. Form 6, Form 7. Form 6A is for people who are not here, but they are Indian citizens, they can still register. Clear? So this is clear. Now what happens, the question that you are asking, suddenly I find my name is not there. That is why we always say the time has come that now since it is available online, the fear is real. That will become a part of an investigation later. At what stage your name got deleted, how it got deleted. The standard answer would be, आम्ही येले तुझ्या घरात कोण आले शेजाराक इन्क्वायरी केली ते पेट्रिशा केन्ना गेले लंडन तुम्हाला कोणाक सांगता रे. It may be a false statement, but that is taken as the truth and process is done and you are deleted. And it's so simple. It's so simple that the AERO will pass a decision, you go to ERO and that's the end of the matter. It doesn't go beyond that. That is why I am repeating once again, if your booth level officer is compromised and if your next level officer Mamladar is compromised, the game ends there for you. You don't have to go in the line and vote. Voting is already done because that is a assured vote. All those epic cards that they get will be kept by the person who is responsible to get them registered, and that will be given only at the time of election with whatever consideration that has to be given to that person, and he will be made to vote, come, take the balance contribution, finish. So this is the sanctity and the integrity of the electoral process gets completely destroyed. There are certain constituencies in Goa which you know overwhelmingly this can happen right from the place where we are, whether it is Benny or Taliban. One more thing is, we know the people who have given NOC some of the time, but they are our people. like you don't know how to target that person. Like, Agner was given an NOC to somebody, he just very casually gave it. Under section 31, you are also supposed to be a better in this. So, एक सुद्धा जर police station or pursue करून case झाली, and we put the concerned officers under the bed, on the bed, you definitely can have some this thing. So I think this gathering should take a resolve today that disciplinary action, not only disciplinary action, but criminal action will have to be taken against the Mamladars who are indulging in this. The Mamladars in particular, because he is the authority, the first authority. The BRO only has to put it up. There is no authority other than putting up the case. He becomes the real link between the electoral process. He is also Mamladar. He may be AERO, but he is also a Mamladar. Rest of the life of his he has to spend as Mamladar. It is a small portion of his election duty, is a small portion of his overall functioning. And the moment this happens, and if something comes against his career, I think somebody's career has to be damaged to such an extent that not only career has to be damaged, but the person has to be made to go to jail.
This is not happened now only. In 1990, Panchayat election is happening in Narsali village. In my court, if the father and mother SID, board and दूसरा shift के लिए. This was done in Narsali in 1990. During the Nelson Canadian Center. No, I'm telling you,
I asked you for an year, Panchayat नाम
No, why want to spend? I know who's the person that I'm selling from. I'm telling you, we are there in that board, no. That's why it is not new. Board member. This is 90.
Attempt that will be made is to increase the size of the electoral roll across Goa. It doesn't happen. It has happened in 2022 in certain constituencies which we have missed it. We have missed to notice that. But if opposition party or somebody who is very serious gives interest in that, then you can stop these malpractices and you can get the names deleted. And after getting the name deleted, suppose you manage to get the name deleted by filing a complaint or by being the objector or something like that, then definitely there is a case to file an FIR before the police saying that this was a false declaration given and that is punishable under section 31. So this was basically what I wanted to convey to you, that how in Goa, in the 39 constituencies, we can prevent people from increasing the size of the vote. आता यांचे बाणाले जो एक 800-900 increase केले, then it can turn the vote. Because last election, 6 to 7 constituencies, the difference was only 600 and some 700, even lesser than that. So you get my point by trying to convey this to you. So vigilance is the main thing. Internal, what is the internal price for the same in the price for internal vigilance.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is what I wanted to convey to you. What I think I cannot go beyond this. There are a lot of other things also which are not relevant for people at large.
This initiative, which is taken by our Sir Anthony De Silva, wherein it's regarding the awareness on malpractices on the electoral roll. And you are all aware, it's been so many years how malpractices are going on in electoral roll. And Sir Anthony De Silva came up with the idea that agent keynote speaker म्हणून आमकां उलोवपाक आनी कोण हेच्यान चड बरो मनीसान बुदवण मेळपाना म्हणून. So we invited, since I am the host, I welcome all the press and would like to say that we invited our keynote speaker, that is Elvis Gomes, who was the ex-retired IAS officer. सगळ्यांक खबर आहा तो गोंयचो रिटायर्ड IAS ऑफिसर जावन आसा, एक इंटलेक्च्युअल मनीस जावन आसा आनी एक्स इलेक्शन कमिशनाचो तो एक पार्ट आशिल्लो. आतां हांव चड लोकांना सगळ्यांक खबर आसा, तूं कलांगूट वच, तूं मडगांव वच, तूं बिर्ला वच, तूं पोर्ताली वच, म्हापशा वच, मडगांव वच, खंय वच, कशे माल प्रॅक्टिसीस चलता, कशे एडवांटेज घेतात सर्टन भेलेचो आमदार आनी मंत्री, सगळ्यांक खबर आसा. खंयचोय सरकार आसूं, वी आर नॉट पर्टिक्युलरली ब्लेमिंग एनी गव्हर्मेंट, but we are saying this malpractices have been going on, names have been included, आणि कशें कितें चल्लां तेजेर आतां उलोवपाक सर एल्विसान आपयलो. सर एल्विसान आतां PPT प्रेजेंटेशन दिवन बऱ्या भशेन दाखयलां. सेक्शन 31 स्पेशल रिप्रेझेंटेशन ॲक्ट ऑफ 1950 ॲक्ट what it says, and even the imprisonment of 1 year term or with fine along with both, हे सगळें तेणें एक्सप्लेन केल्लें आसा. सो आमी आयज सगळे मोस्टली गोंयचे जे एक्टिविस्ट आसा ते गोंया खातीर काम करतात, जे NGO आसा ते गोंय मोगी आसात, इंटलेक्च्युअल आसात, सोशल वर्कर आसात, पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट, तांकां सगळ्यांक आपयलां. वी इन फॅक्ट थॉट इट वूड बी जस्ट अ स्मॉल थिंग, यू नो, of 20 people, but going to see more than 100 of activists and like-minded people are now go at here. We have given them a small break. After the tea break, sir will be having, Elvis Gomes will be having discussion in detail and debate. Somewhere the floor will be open for all our Goa activists or political activists. And I want to thank you म्हणटा बाब एंजनी डी सिल्वा हो इनिशिएटिव्ह जे ताणें घेतिल्लो आसा. आणि दुसरें म्हणटा तें लायक मायंडेड जायते एक्टिविटी आसा, सगळ्यांचें नांव काडून दिना, पूण आमचे बरोबर आसा बाब स्वप्नेश वेल्लेकर हांगासर म्हजो बरो इश्ट, तसोच बाब म्हजो जॉन नाजारेथ दुसरो इश्ट. सो देव बरें.
हो आज कार्यक्रम घडोवन हाडपाक एकूच कारण, आनी तें म्हणल्यार हालींच एक पणजे कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन एक ऑर्डर जाल्ली, जे बूथ लेवल ऑफिसर आहा ते 28 लोकांक रिप्लेस केल्ले. आतां ते इतिहास जालो, कित्याक ती ऑर्डर अभियन्सान पडली आनी ताजे खातीर आमी जे झूज मांडलें आनी इलेक्शन कमिशनान सुद्दां आमी वयर घेतलें, दिल्लीक सुद्दां आमी हें पावयलें आनी हें सस्पिशियस लागलें. पूण जावं, आतां तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट इलेक्शन ऑफिसर आहा कलेक्टर नॉर्थ गोवा, ताणें अभियन्सान दवरला आनी ताणें एश्युरन्स दिला म्हाका की हें आमी असलें करून दिवचें ना. सो हांवें ताका सांगलें तुमची पॉलिसी कितें सांगात. हांगा गोंयांत आसा 40 कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी, जाल्यार तुमी एकाच कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन हें कित्याक करता. आनी तेय जाल्यार आख्खे मास ट्रान्सफर आनी तेय जाल्यार ही आतां सबस्टिट्यूट करपाची नांवां कोण दिता, कोण थारायता ही नांवां. सो हें सस्पिशन वाडल्या उपरांत मागीर ताणें ती आतां ऑर्डर पेंडींग उरली. तें बरें आहा. आतां गोंयच्या लोकांक जाणा जावपाक जाय आसलें की कितें एक्चुली घडटा. हालींच एक आर्टिकल बरोवन नॅशनल न्यूजपेपराचेर मिस्टर राहुल गांधी काँग्रेसचे फुडारी जे आसा ताणें महाराष्ट्रा बद्दल एक सारको उल्लेख केल्लो आहा आनी ताजे जे प्रश्न आसा ताचो आन्सर आजून मेळ्ळो ना, आजून पर्यंत तरी मेळोंक ना इलेक्शन कमिशना कडल्यान. आनी तातूंतलो एक मेन मुद्दो म्हणल्यार वोटर लिस्ट जे आसा तें इन्फ्लेट करप, म्हणजे वाडोवप. आतां गोंयचे सारके कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीनी आमी पळयलां गेले खेपे बरेच 6 काय 7 कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीनी डिफरन्स जाल्लो 600-700 उणेंय बी 100 सुद्दां. सो अशें जर वोटर घालपाक लागले आनी चड करून जे आमचे सिटीजन सुद्दां ना, म्हणजे नेपाळ राष्ट्राचे सुद्दां आमचे कडेन आतां हांवें दाखयलां कांय उदाहरणां जी सस्पिशियस आसा. हाव दे कॅन बी वोटर्स ऑफ इंडियन वोटर्स, म्हणजे ताणें सिटीजनशीप घेतल्या की काय ते CAA आनी कितें NRC बी म्हणटा तें आनी सगळें कुशीनूच पडलें. ते डायरेक्ट जर हांगा येवन डायरेक्ट वोटर जावंक शकता जाल्यार कितें तरी चुकता. आनी ह्या भाशेन जर वोटर लिस्ट वाडोवन जर इलेक्शन जिखपाचें आहा जाल्यार इलेक्शन आनी करून फायदो ना. ही गेम वन सायडीड जाता. आख्खो रेफरी तेंचो आनी ती टिमूय तेंची आनी लोकांनी मागीर झुजपाचें. म्हणून हे आज एक कॉल दिला आमी कांय लोकांक आपोवन. जशें प्रतिमान सांगलां, म्हाका पयलीं सांगलें 15 लोक आसतले म्हणून. हांगा पयलीं जाल्यार ऑलमोस्ट 70, 80, 100 जाले जाल्यार आसतले मागीर. आनी ह्यो आमी कितें सांगलां की दीस इज अ पनिशेबल ऑफेन्स. आनी हेंय दाखयलां एका कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सीन कशें एका कॉन्शियन्शियस BLOन रिजेक्ट केली नांवां. ही जी पळय लुटूंक सोदताले भितर इलेक्शन हितून वोटर लिस्टान ती रिजेक्टूय केल्ली आहा. सो हांव म्हणिना बरें आहा BLO, बरे मामलेदार आसा हू आर EROs इन द प्रोसेस. पूण कांय लोकांचेर डावट येता आनी एक आमी फायनल एक डिसिजन घेतलां सगळ्या लोकांनी की आमी एक टेस्ट केस म्हणून खंयचे तरी एका मामलेदाराक एज अ ERO घरांत हाडपाक जाय, भितर उडोवपाक जाय, ते BLOनूय भितर उडोवपाक जाय आनी जागृत जर लोक रावले ते भितर पडूंक शकता, तांकां जेलीन धाडपाचो टायम येयला. खंयच्या तरी एका ऑफिसराक धाडचो पडटलो, इवन डेप्युटी कलेक्टर रँकाच्या ऑफिसराक धाडचो पडटलो, तांचो रोल इन्वेस्टिगेट करचो पडटलो हें कशें घडटा. कित्याक हे जे आतां रिजेक्ट जालां BLOन जे रिजेक्ट केल्या पळय नांवां ती कोणें तरी भरली न्हू नांवां, कोणें तरी अपलोड केली न्हू नांवां आनी त्या मनशाक खबर आसली तो आपूण अपलोड करता तें फॉल्स डिक्लेरेशन म्हणून. सो हें आख्खें गोंयांत जायना जावपाक, ही जागृताय वाडोवपाक ही आज हांगा मिटींग आयोजीत केल्ली आनी हांव समजता की आमी जाता ते भाशेन हे लोकां पर्यंत पावयल्ले आहा तुमच्या मिडियमांतल्यान. तुमकां देव बरें करूं. आनीक ही आमची जागृताय अशी चालू उरची, कित्याक प्रत्येक खेपेक लोक थकल्या. ही पळय कारस्थानां चल्ल्या, लोक थकल्या. कितले फावटी म्हणून कोर्टान वचपाचें. आतां सपने शेल्लेकर कितले फावटी म्हणून कोर्टान वचूंक शकता. आतां ताणें काल जें पिटिशन मारलां 100 crores लॉस म्हणून इंडियन एक्सप्रेसाचेर वाचलां. 100 crores सरकाराक लॉस केलें एका खात्यान. असलें आमी केन्ना आयकुंकूच ना. म्हणजे कोणाचो तरी फायदो केलो दिल्लीवाल्याचो, बॅगां घेवन येता तांचो, आनी सरकाराचे तिजोरीक 100 कोटी लॉस केले. हें कित्याक घडटा? हें घडटा कित्याक तुमी अशें निवडून येता, फोटींग लोक अशें निवडून येता, हे वोटर लिस्ट वाडयता आनी तुमी निवडून येता आनी तुमी मागीर हे सगळें नाकाल्ली कारस्थानां करता. सो लोकांक हें कळपाक जाय. हेजे रूट कॉज म्हणटा तें हें इलेक्शनाचे वोटर लिस्ट वाडयले 8%, 7% सुद्दां वाडयले जाल्यार तो रिजल्ट सामको वेगळेच भाशेन जातलो. तुमकां जाय तसो जावचो ना आनी गोंयकारांक हाजेर सतर्क रावचें.
आणि तुमकां सगळ्यांक खबर आसा लास्ट इयर जेन्ना लोकसभाचें इलेक्शन वॉज टू बी हेल्ड, द प्रोसेस लोकसभाचें इलेक्शन टील दी असेंब्ली इलेक्शन्स अराउंड 41 lakhs इट वॉज रिपोर्टेड 41 lakhs लोकांचे बी नांवां महाराष्ट्रान एनरोल केल्ली. सो महाराष्ट्रा इज अ नेबरिंग स्टेट, नो डाउट अबाउट इट. बट इन गोवा ऑल्सो वी हॅव सीन ड्युरिंग इलेक्शन टायम वी हॅव सीन हाव ट्रेन्स भरून रेल्वे स्टेशनाचेर लोकांक हांगा हाडटात आनी इलेक्शन जातरी पिकनीक करून तांकां धाडटात. दे ओनली गॉट द पर्पज इज इलेक्शन वोटर लिस्ट. ते गोंयकार आसनात, ते गोंयांत आसनात, पूण जे हांचे कोण आसा पळय गॉडफादर्स ते तांचे एनरोल करतात, तांचे बायलांचे, तांचे भयण्याचे, तांचे फॅमिलीचे नांव. आनी दुसरें म्हणटात ते मेनी ऑफ गोवन हॉस्पिटल तुमी पळयलें आसतलें, जावं ते GMC जावं ते आमचे सावथ डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल जावं ते नॉर्था जिलो जावं खंयचीय गव्हर्मेंट हॉस्पिटलांत तुमी पळयात 9 म्हयन्याचेर प्रेग्नंट आसता तेन्ना खंयच्यान झारखंड जावं ओडिसा जावं आसाम जावं महाराष्ट्र जावं कर्नाटका साकून प्रेग्नंट बायलांनी हाडटात. डिलिव्हरी हांगा आमच्या गव्हर्मेंट हॉस्पिटलांत करतात. नांव तांचें मागीर नांव हांगा बर्थ प्लेस म्हणून जाता आनी मागीर ते आपल्या गांवांत करतात. सो माल प्रॅक्टिसीस जे आसा ते खंय तरी स्टॉप जावपाक जाय. खरेंच हो इनिशिएटीव जो एंटनी डिसिल्वान आयज घेतिल्लो आसा ताका आमी शाबासकी दितात आनी मानतात की आफ्टर शैलेश बाब स्वप्नेश बाब स्पीकिंग we'll be carrying with the debate and discussion, it will go on and it's really healthy and a good issue. Swapnesh babu.
आमच्या करंट सिस्टमान खुबशे लूपहोल्स आसा. आतां लूपहोल्स म्हटल्यार जर आमी सामान्य लोकांक सांगपाचो जर प्रयत्न केलो टू एक्सप्लेन तांकां समजपाक जाय म्हणून, जाल्यार एक एग्जाम्पल दिवं शकता. तो म्हटल्यार समजा आतां आमी एक स्कूटर चलयता. आतां स्कुटरान न्हू खूब सिस्टम्स आसता जे इंटरकनेक्टेड आसता. ते इंटरकनेक्टेड ड्रायव्ह म्हटल्यार तुमची रायड गाडी चलोवप सेफली जावपाक जाय, एफिशियंटली जावपाक जाय. तुमी ज्या कारणाक लागून गाडी भायर काडला, समजा बाजारान वचपाक, तुमी बाजारान पावपाक जाय विदावट एनी डॅमेज. तुमकां इंजरी जावपाक जायना, पडपाक जायना, धडपाक जायना. सो ही जी स्कुटर आहा ती मल्टिपल सिस्टमांचेर चलता. आतां तुमी विचार करा, जर तुमी स्कुटर स्टार्ट मारपाक गेले आनी तुमकां थंयसर पेट्रोलाचो कांटो फूल दाखयता, 1 किलोमिटराचेर पावोन गाडी बंद पडली. कितें जाली? सिस्टम फेलियर जालो. कित्याक तर तुमचो फ्यूल इंडिकेटर रॉंग दाखयता. हांगा व्हडलो डॅमेज जावना पूण गाडी बंद पडली. तेच जर तुमी गाडी घेवन गेल्यार आनी ब्रेकूच लागना, कितें जातलें? एक्सिडेंट जातलो. ताका लागून सिस्टम मेंटेन करप, गरज पडल्यार ओवरहॉल करप हें गरजेचें आसता. सिमिलरली हे जे आमचे सरकार चलता दीज आर मल्टिपल सिस्टम्स. तितून आतां इलेक्शनाची सिस्टम आनी कशें वोटर रेजिस्ट्रेशन, तितून लूप होल्स कितें आहा, तितून माल प्रॅक्टिसीस कितें आहा तें समजपाक लागून आयचो हो सेशन आसलो. आमी एटेंड केलो कित्याक आमकां शिकपाचें आहा. जर खंयचेय सिस्टम इम्प्रुवायज करतले किंवा रिपेर करतले, ट्रबल शूट करतले जाल्यार सिस्टम कशी फंक्शन जाता तें पयलीं कळपाक जाय. जशें आतां एल्वीस सरान एक्सप्लेन केलां, आमच्या हिशोबान आतां 100 लोकांक तरी कळ्ळें आसतलें की सिस्टम कशी फंक्शन जाता, कशी डॅमेज जाता, इंटेन्शनली डॅमेज जाता आनी ती कशी लूप होल प्लग करपाक जाय. हे लूप होल जो पर्यंत प्लग जायना, सिस्टम ट्रबल शूट जायना, आमची गाडी पावला पावलाक बंद पडटली, टू एन एक्सटेंट एक्सिडेंट जावन आमकां व्हडली कितें हानी जावं शकता. म्हणून ही सिस्टम कशी फंक्शन जाता, कितें प्रॉब्लम आसता ते कशें ट्रबल शूट जावपाक जाय हें शिकप गरजेचें. म्हणून हांव लोकांकूय उलो मारता की हे सेशन जर आनीक खंयसर जाता जाल्यार लोकांनी पार्टिसिपेट करचें, समजून घेवचें. कित्याक निमाणें आमकां आनी आमच्या भुरग्यांक हांगाच रावपाक जाय, आनी हांगासर जर सिस्टमा सारकी चलना जाल्यार एक्सिडेंट जायत रावतले, पावला पावलाक आमी वचोन थारात रावतले, लुकसाण आमकां जातलें. विचार कर.
लास्ट आमचे बाब जॉन नाजारे 2 मुद्द्यांचेर उलोवपाक सोदता एंड देन वी फिनिश विथ द प्रेस कॉन्फरन्स.
पळय, आमचो तुका खबर आसतली एडवोकेट मेहमूद प्रचार हो EVMाचेर एक झूज लढटा आख्खी कंट्रीक EVM बंद करपाक. ताणें कितें केलें फाटीं, ताणें CCTV हे मागले, फुटेज मागली आनीक फॉर्म 17C, पूण ताका CCTV फुटेज दिना आनी इलेक्ट्रोलाची कॉपी दिना जाले. म्हणटकूच बाय प्रतिमान एक उल्लेख केलो की महाराष्ट्रान 41 लाख वोटर्स एड केले म्हणून. तुका एक सांगूंक सोदता, इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट टू दॅट 5 म्हयन्यांनी पळय ते 41 lakhs पळय वोटर्स महाराष्ट्रान एड जाल्ले. प्रिवियस 5 वर्सांत ओन्ली 31 lakhs वोटर्स एड जाल्ले. जरी तर 5 वर्सांत 31 lakhsूच महाराष्ट्र स्टेटीन एड जाल्ले जाल्यार 5 म्हयन्यांत 41 lakhs कशें जावंक शकता? कितले शुद्ध जावंक शकना ते. म्हणटकूच हितून एका लागून न्हू डावट एक क्रिएट जाता, कितें तरी गडबड चल्ला, खंय तरी घडटा चल्ला, जाका लागून आमी शुरूड रावचें पडटले. आमच्या शेजाऱ्याक आमचे नांवां फुडल्यान फाटल्यान कोणाक एड केल्या ते आमी सोदून काडून आमी हें करचें पडटलें. नाजाल्यार कित्याक आमची इकॉनॉमी आतां अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पळय खंय पावला, हे सगळे पळय इश्यूज आहा ते अशेंच जातले आनी आमकां सोल्युशन कांयच काडून घेवचें ना. कित्याक अशें करून थोडे पॉलिटिशियन आहा पळय तेच इलेक्ट जावन येतले. लोकांच्या वोटिंगाचो व्हॅल्यू आसचोच ना. कित्याक अशें जरी तर वोटींग जरी तर मॅनिपुलेट जालें जाल्यार खंय तरी आमी वायट हेजेर वयतले.
एकूच लास्ट म्हत्वाचें म्हणल्यार हे चड मालप्रॅक्टिसीस वोटर एड करपाचे लास्ट सप्लिमेंटरी येता तेन्ना जावंक शकता आनी मोठ्या प्रमाणात जावंक शकता. हे लास्ट 1.5 म्हयनो आसतना पळय ती सप्लिमेंटरी येता ती सेपरेट येता. इलेक्टोरल मेन रोलाचेर येना, ताका एक सप्लिमेंट म्हणून येता आनी तेन्ना टायम आसना. तेन्ना कोण घेवन बसता? कोणूच घेवन बसना. आनी सडनली ते वोटिंगाच्या टायमार थोडे दीस आहा म्हणल्यार तो इलेक्टोरल सप्लिमेंट भायर सरता आनी तितून नांवां पयली जाल्यार बदल्याचीच नांवां मेळटा. सो एवरी मोमेंट जागृताय आसची पडटली. हीच आमची आज मॅसेज.
देव बरें करूं.